is Tombstone. The OK Corral. OK Corral, the gunfight site. That's what this whole thing is. Enter in the front, go in the back. Alright. OK Corral. Figure out how much it is. Oh yeah, the next one. I just missed it. Got one, so it has to be three. Three is the next one if you want to go. Yeah. Look at that. Got the fox. Got the fox skin. Alright. See these? Back in 10 minutes. That's amazing.
No one invited you. Go on back to haunting the Birdcage Theater or the Crystal Palace Saloon where you belong. Go on now, go on. Pardon that interruption. This is an original 1800s Concord stagecoach. Looks like it's been around, doesn't it? A little bit like my girlfriend Kate. The first cross-country stage line passed just north of here and usually made the St. Louis to San Francisco trip in 22 long days. At the end of the journey, the first cross-country passenger remarked, "I now know what hell is like. I've just had 24 days of it." For $200, you got 15 inches of seat room and traveled all day and night, averaging just 5 miles per hour. Now, the Canadian Company stage line was Tombstone's. On March 16, 1881, it was ambushed. The shotgun guard and passenger were both killed, but the driver cracked the whip and made it to Benson with its $25,000 cargo of silver. A posse that was led by my good friend Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson rode off in hot pursuit, but sadly, no one was ever punished for those murders. Perhaps you'd better head on next door, where I'll tell you about other legends of the Old West. I do hope you make it. Oof. Some people just can't get over losing me in a card game. Just glad their aim was bad. You know, back in the 1800s, Old West, violent death was common. You might die from an Indian raid led by the Apache Geronimo, a mine accident, a jealous lover, or a drunk with a grudge wanting to get even. Morgan Earp was gunned down just 2 doors from here in the Campbell and Hatch Saloon, a revenge killing stemming from the fight at the OK Corral. Frank Stillwell was rumored to be the hitman. He was later killed by my friend Wyatt Earp. Word is that at night you can sometimes see the ghost of Morgan's wife, Louisa, in the Campbell and Hatch Saloon as she searches for her dead husband. Nearby on Safford Street is the old Buford house. The story goes that jilted lover George Davies put 4 slugs in his former fiancée, Cleopatra Edmonds, out of jealousy. Leaving her for dead, he then shot himself with his last bullet. He died, but miraculously his girlfriend recovered and lived a full life. Folks say his ghost now haunts that house, still angry for his mistake. Near the old Tombstone courthouse, prisoner John Heath was lynched by a Bisbee mob and hung from a telegraph pole for his part in the Bisbee massacre. His coroner's report stated that he died from emphysema of the lungs. That's the Old West for you. You see his grave over there in Boot Hill. Yes, in those days you were mighty lucky to die in a warm, comfortable bed like I did. Pardon me, darn allergies. Let's go next door to the undertaker's parlor, which was quite busy in those days. And you know, people didn't carry IDs. This boomtown was full of strangers. So often unidentified bodies would be found on the side of the road or in alleys. These unfortunate bodies would be openly displayed for a couple of days on a cooling slab in hopes that someone might recognize them. After 2 days in hot weather, the bodies were starting to get pretty ripe and had to be buried in Boot Hill. Now several unmarked graves are found there.
Hey, Doc, what are you taking me to Boot Hill? Haven't I been here long enough?
Patience, Billy. Everyone is in such a hurry nowadays. Excuse me. I apologize. I think I'm allergic to dead people. Let's go next door for some real excitement. Did you know that Tombstone is called the town too tough to die? This old town has survived 2 major fires, the mines flooding, and even an earthquake in 1887. Just up the street at 5th and Allen, a bartender was emptying a keg of bad whiskey when it exploded from his lit cigar. Nearly the entire town was wiped out by that. But it was soon rebuilt, only to have another devastating fire a year later in 1882. This time it started across the street in an alley by the Grand Hotel, which is now known as Big Nose Kate's. How that fire started is still a mystery. Early on, the mines had started taking in water at 520 feet down, and in 1881, enormous pumps had to be installed. But fire struck again in 1886, destroying the pump house, which led to a chain reaction as many of the underground pumps were themselves flooded. That breakdown, combined with lower silver prices, resulted in the end of boomtown Tombstone. Now a surprising danger lurks below. Parts of the town are networked with old mine shafts. One collapsed on Tough Nut Street a few years ago, creating a hole big enough to swallow an entire tour bus. In fact, there are some who say that there's a mine shaft under this very building, but I do not believe that for a moment. Well, I think perhaps you'd better leave now. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
The moccasin shop. Back that way at the OK Corral. It's actually inside. They couldn't charge if you just did it out here. That's $20 as well. Yeah, should have brought the tripod for that. How are we gonna get that? Maybe set a timer and get it, I guess? I don't know. Put it on top of the hydrant. Tombstone Photo Studio. I think that place would be like $5, not $14. The gunfight's $20 a piece. Yeah, and that's the last of our money if we go to that. That's what I was saying. If we wanted to, we can. I brought enough for it. Yeah. As would be in there. It's not just a show bar. It's an actual bar.
Yeah, that's where the flopper or the board.
Where? The Western? In that bar?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hotel. This is the hotel Virgil Earp walked out of into the street and was shot in the middle of the street.
Oh,
in the
wow.
movie you saw? Yeah, this was a hotel. He comes out of here, lights a cigarette. In fact, at times you can see him at night leaning against the lamppost, and he walks out in the middle of the street and vanishes.
Yeah.
It really does happen.
Yeah.
And you would know. Yeah, yeah.
Have a nice day, you guys.
Yeah. Old time photos.
Everybody smells.
Yeah, it is. Got the guns and everything. Doom, 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 doom. There's a lot of jewelry around here. Burn, burn, burn. Go fire. Yeah. Well, if he cried in there, he's definitely gonna cry with the damn gunfight.
I'll be holding him.
Yeah. So the next show is at 3.
What time is it?
2. 2 o'clock. The tough to die. Oh. Oh, it's supposed to be at least. Oh, actually, no, that might be Wyatt Earp, actually. Y'all cameras, mustache from Shea.
You got a great name. You got a real
Alright.
a beefy
Everybody. That's nice. Tombstone magic. Sherry Red for mayor. About to see the gunfight. About to see the gunfight. Okay, Corral. Hey. Look at that. Life authenticity. Well, that's actually from the movie. Wyatt Earp. Wow. That's pretty cool. This is like a little game right here. You shoot these metal balls back and forth, trying to knock over the cactus, knock over your guy. It's a pretty fun game. Wyatt Earp. What? Got the rattlers, rattlesnake, belt. Got the gun. Yeah, and that was there was 11, 1, and 3. Josiah, what are you doing? Blowing bubbles. Blowing bubbles. Blowing bubbles. Yeah. You know you got a big ass head. I got a big ass head. Killed in the Golden Corral gunfight. August. Cannot get this done. Stuff we'll see in like 20 minutes. Yeah.
What's in there?
Nothing. It makes it look like you're doing something. Okay, focus. Look at that one. We all died the same day. Yeah.
Where are they making us sit at?
Gunfight, shite. Oh, how would you be able to open that? See what the toilet would look like. You know, people were short. Look at that small bed. It's the world's smallest bed in here. Look at that.
World's smallest bed?
Smallest bed. Super. Try it a few more times.
Finally.
Impressive. See that? Look at that. There's that.
Boys been looking for a fight? Now you have one.
Throw up your hands. I want your guns. Pull us out of
Oh, shoot! I'm gonna knock you to get the fight! Fight! At least I got you, Holiday, you coward!
Blaze away, Frank. You're a daisy if you do. You're no daisy at all.
I see you moving, boy. Give me that gun.
Let me down. Let me down.
Frank McLowry, dead. Tom McLowry, dead. 19-year-old Billy Clanton, dead. That was it. Over before it ever started. 2 months after this gunfight, Virgil Earp was ambushed outside the Crystal Palace Saloon. 3 shotguns went off, but he still refused to die. Crippled up pretty bad, Virgil wandered the West till death found him in Nevada in 1905. Not as lucky was Wyatt's kid brother Morgan, shot in the back and killed playing a game of pool up on Allen Street. Morgan died at midnight, March 19th, 1882, his brother Wyatt's birthday. Now in 1887, the year this whole town began to fall apart, the two main causes of this gunfight died, hundreds of miles apart from each other. That summer, trying to put together a new gang up in northern Arizona, Ike Clanton was shot and killed by a mail-order detective. Not long after that, after a lifetime of drinking and smoking, well, tuberculosis caught up with yours truly up in Colorado. I don't care to talk about it. Wyatt Earp was the last man standing out of all this. He spent the rest of his days traveling. Wyatt went from Idaho to Alaska, finally ended in Jazz Age Hollywood, looking for another tombstone and the chance to get things right again. He never did find it. When Wyatt died in 1929, just ahead of his 81st birthday, Wyatt's last words? Suppose. Suppose. And that, folks, is our show. We hope you enjoy it. For just a moment, we got a couple more things to bring to your attention. First of all, if you'd like to come on down on the set, get some pictures of the actors, we advise you to do so, because this is as good as we're going to look all day. If you have any questions about what you just saw, feel free to come on down and ask us. We are a lot more reliable than this Val Kilmer person I keep hearing about. Lastly, as you folks exit, you're going to come across a cowboy. He's out there collecting for a charity that we hold near and dear to all of our hearts here at the OK Corral. That is the Starving Actors Fund. Don't laugh, it's a real thing. Please be generous, folks. All of those proceeds go towards ramen noodles and much needed acting lessons. Thank you for joining us at the OK Corral. Folks, enjoy your day in Tombstone.